everybody.
Good morning. How are you feeling, love?
I feel fabulous. I played hooky yesterday and it was awesome.
That's awesome.
Greg and I took off and we went to the parks. It was my 6 weeks to the day after the surgery. So and my doctor told me to ease in. So I rode a roller coaster and I walked 14,000 steps and like,
Yeah, totally easing in.
before I got on the roller coaster, I'm like, I was asking my husband, because we also did the safari ride in Animal Park and it's pretty jostly, And I'm like, is this one of those jostly roller coasters? And he goes, it's just a regular old fashioned, like, click, 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 click up the chain driven roller coaster thing. And I'm like, okay. And I go, is it more jostly than the thing we were just on? He goes, oh, hell no. And I'm like, all right, I'm fine. So rode that and it was a blast. So anyway, enough of me. Let's hear some good news from y'all. Let's hear it. What do you guys got for good news? Oh, Dutch, in the beginning, go around with just our good news, like real estate good news, just really quickly, boom, 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 boom. So that's what we're starting off with. So who's got good news? Okay, let's hear it.
Well, I went to use my LLC to buy a couple of properties and found out that my registered agent hadn't paid taxes in 3 years. So I went down, got my taxes paid, and got my LLC reinstated. So that was big. And I'm waiting for a final decision from my ultimate buyer on one of my offers. So we'll know that today. And then there were some title issues that had to be worked out between the owner and a previous wholesaler. But that seems to be happening. And so my other one, hopefully it's going to close within a week and a half.
Congratulations. You have been on fire, girl. Very nice.
And I don't want to move until like January. So I'm debating whether I should do comps now or just wait, or how to keep them looped in on what the value of their house is. So that's my question, but let everybody else go with good news.
Cool, because we have answers for that. All right, who else has got good news? Dutch, what you got? You don't have to hand, you can just shout here.
Okay. I just have to check. Sometimes I do that for my own reticular activation.
Love it. Love that you know what a RAS is.
Oh, I've known for a long time. I mean, it's like the name it and claim it.
Yeah.
It goes that far with the motivational speakers. But a week and a half ago, my site plan guy, who is not very communicative because he's always so busy. I have a piece of property that is valued at $200,000. It's on the water, vacant, and it's close to the water. And almost all of the 4,000 square foot house I want to put on it to make it saleable is in the 50-foot area that where they don't like building and so forth. And so Friday I went by and took him a week ago. Friday I drove up, it's an hour, and he likes anything that's brown, meaning bourbon or wild turkey, something like that. I don't like it. But I left him a shopping bag on the to motivate him to get things done. And he called the person in the city, and they said, no, you need to write this plan. They weren't happy with it at 4:30 Friday afternoon at the county, and so the next day he had 1 day to get it done because they have to advertise it. These are tight schedules, but they're tight for him, and he got it done. As far as I know, I'm trying to get in touch with her to make sure that when she goes in and the board member says, what is staff's opinion of this? Staff, what is staff recommendation? She usually says staff recommends approval.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to that my site plan is going to be approved, that it will be buildable, because everybody around there is saying, you can't build on that lot. You can't build on that lot. And you're asking me too much for it. And so, yeah, but waterfront lot you can build on easily 200,000. So that's the good news.
It's very good news. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'll check up on it a little bit more this week.
Cool beans.
Yep.
Listen tomorrow. Or when you find out. All right. Who else has
I
got some
will.
good news? Yeah.
That I will.
All righty. Who else has got some good news?
I met one of our team members yesterday, Seth,
Ah,
and recommended that he come join us. He's getting
Mhm.
ready for a mission trip, so I don't know that it'll be anytime soon, but maybe. So, and other than that, all my appointments yesterday were moving in the right direction.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. Let's hear some more good news. Anna, Craig, Bree. Good morning, Bree.
Morning.
Let's hear some good news.
I got a referral.
Nice. Out of you started this process over a week ago, a week and a day ago.
Yeah, about a week ago. Mhm.
Okay, and how many referrals so far?
About 4.
Nice. Nice. Have you been able to meet with any of them yet?
One rescheduled. The other one is this Saturday, and I'm setting up appointments for the others.
Congrats. Congrats. I knew you'd have appointments.
Thank
ASAP.
you.
You're welcome. All right.
That's awesome, Bree. You're on fire.
Yes, you are. It's amazing what happens when you go after it.
Yeah, literally.
Yep,
Cool.
it really is. So, and you look good too this morning.
Oh, thanks. I took a shower.
I had to also because I sweated so bad at the parks yesterday. I was like, oh, yeah. So, I mean, I would anyway, but I really needed to today. Okay. Who else has got some good news? Yes, Craig.
I made it through the weekend.
Woohoo!
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying you're
So,
welcome. You say you're welcome.
Yeah, so I started the process of getting my KV course set up.
You made it through the weekend.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Very nice.
we're gonna see how that goes.
Congratulations. You're moving forward with it.
Craig,
you.
I promise it is the biggest pain in the butt, but it is the most worthy time investment you can make in your business. It really is.
Yeah, and so I saw this guy who posted in EXP. Yeah, I saw his post yesterday, and so he'll do everything, set it up, and all kinds of stuff for like $97. So I don't know. I'm gonna play with it so I can learn it, and then I might consider doing something like that later on.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Just ask him what the setup includes, if he's going to include smart campaigns. I would say if he is going to include smart campaigns for all the different types of buyers that you plan on catering to, 97 is totally worth it. I've paid over 1,000, I think, for mine. Over 1,000. That was like a long time ago. But the smart campaign setup would be totally worth it. If all he's doing is like getting you vanity domain and the phone number and just basic stuff, I'd say probably skip it and just play around with it yourself. But if it does include the smart campaigns, that takes too much time. So I would say that'd be totally worth it.
Wait a minute. So you're signing up for
Yes.
$90-something a month?
Yeah, that was the advertisement. No. It was $97 one time, from my understanding.
For who's doing this? Is this the guy from last night?
No, this was someone else that I found on Workplace.
Can you send it to me?
Yep.
All right.
Cool beans. Very cool. And then one of the two of you send over to me also, because I want to see if he sets up for Asian Attraction. And if he does, I'd be interested in that. That would be a good thing. And I want to see what he does also. So cool beans.
Oh
Liz,
yeah, for sure. That'd be good. 'Cause I
exactly.
don't have time for that.
Yeah, and I'll pay $97 for somebody else to set my stuff up completely, and then all I have to figure out is how to input a person and, you know, assign them to a campaign. That's a piece of cake, and then play with whatever I want to play after that.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Yeah, I'd be interested in that as well.
All right, so Craig, apparently when you get a chance, you need to toss it out to all of us.
Yeah. Okay, your hair's cute.
Cool beans. All right, Liz, what do you got?
I was just gonna say good morning, everyone. And yes, Craig, please send it to all of us because that's my next leg of work that I have to do in my business. I met with a girlfriend from my sphere on Friday, and she's looking at a new build. So we're gonna work with her on getting that done. The place she's looking at is you know, starting to take people in this summer. So I'm gonna need some help in terms of what to like ask, you know, make sure I'm asking all the right questions and things like that. But that's my good news.
Yay.
Yay, huge. I think Anna works with a lot of new build. My new build experience, which I have a year of, but it's back in, oh, hang on, I'm gonna age myself really quickly, 2008.
Okay.
But yes, we will help you when you get there.
Thank
Cool beans. All right, Anna, you're our last. We saved the best for last. What you got?
Not the best, but thank you. What I was gonna say. Oh yeah, new builds. One of the builders that we have here have really, really good quality homes. In my opinion, they're really overpriced, but sometimes they run these insane price cuts. This particular home came back on the market 3 different times. And every single time that I was like on my way to view it, literally, I got the text saying, hey, it's back on the market for this price. And that price was a $60,000 price cut from where it was originally listed. $60K, that's huge. And they're offering financing too. So 4.99 buy down. Every single time I was on my way to see this stupid home that came back on the market, it was snatched by the time I even arrived to the community. So this time I got notified that it came back on again. For some reason, it's like the black sheep of the community, and I don't understand it because it's a nice home. But anyway, so I just got notified that it came back on the market. By that point, I reached out to all of the people that I knew could potentially be buyers. I was like, no matter what, I'm selling it this time and it's not going to come back on the market. So I found someone that was passively looking at another community. I was like, listen, you'd be crazy to pass this up. Within like a nanosecond, she's like, sign me up. So it was great. I
Nice.
just wanted to contract her the weekend. I love working the new builds, so I'm happy to help you anytime, Liz. So yeah, that was my good news.
That's very good news. I love it.
You know, sometimes they're so easy, and sometimes, man, oh my God, everything is so hard. But this was, oh, knock on wood. Knock on wood. This was an easy one. Yeah, I have this guy from this Bigger Pockets dude that I connected with like 3 months ago. I don't know when it was I signed up. He was like my second Zoom meeting. This kid, he's been wanting to invest, and I literally have spent like a minimum of maybe like 20 some hours by now, just showing him different options that he has. And he's just not biting the bullet. He was so out of it. So yeah, I have some like really hard ones that they're not hard, it's just extremely time consuming. And then some that are like, boom, sign me up. Like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah. And you
I
know
love
what the root underneath all of those are, the easier and the harder ones are.
it's, well, I think, I don't know. I haven't figured out exactly what, but is it finances?
Nah, I think it's more than that, because I think that if we really want to, we'll figure out the rest of it.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah, I think we will. I think it goes down to motivation, and
Mhm.
it really digs down into that. And then even like the highest personality, which does not change, they just don't like change. If they're motivated, they will, but they really
Yeah.
got to be motivated. And I think that's what it is underneath it. And some people just aren't quite motivated, and they're just in the research phase still, you know?
Yeah, I think sometimes it just comes down to them committing to a decision.
Yeah, I think
I think it's
they have a hard time with that.
I
That's-
think it's confidence. Because once they do 1, 2, or 3 of them, especially if they're successful, they're off.
Yeah.
It's getting somebody with them to help them pull the trigger on the first deal.
especially for the
Yeah,
S's,
I agree.
especially for the high S's. It's getting a trusted person in their life who can see it, who will push them also from behind while you're kind of pulling from the front.
Got to pull the trigger on the first one and see the money come in. It's a level of belief. It's a level of confidence that it's not just a dream. It can really happen for me.
That's the key. Yeah.
That is there's one family I'd love to get your help with, like possibly analyzing, maybe helping other people too. Are we done with the good news, Gina?
Yeah, we're done. We're gonna move into yours, whatever you got, and then Kate,
Okay.
would be awesome. Keep on going.
Okay, so a couple of months ago, one of my realtor contacts in DFW area contacted me, gave me a referral for this couple that was supposedly looking to buy a home as soon as possible. I reached out to them. They didn't care to respond early enough. Anyways, we finally signed the contract, and like the week after the buyer's rep contract, um, a week after the guy, and you could tell he really trusts me because he's asking me about every single step of his life. Should I take this credit card? What do you think about this promotion? Should I do this? Should I do that? I could tell that they really respect my opinion. They get me involved in pretty much every single decision of their lives, and so on and so forth. So the trust is not the factor. I know that for sure with them. But these guys literally, so they ended up extending their lease like the day after I think we signed the buyer's rep agreement, extended their lease for another year. And apparently, before they even came to me, they've been on the market. So every community I've taken them to, it seems they've been there time and time again. They're registered in all of these communities. They've been shopping for 4 years, guys. 4 years. Okay. And so they have really high standards. And for 4 years, their price range is still the same. It's still 400 and below. And that is the only way that they're comfortable going forward. I'm like, okay, cool. Which communities? You've been in the area for a long time. You already know what you like and what you don't. So tell me what it is that you like. They named 3 communities. Let's just say this. The ones they named were above $1 million price points. And there was one that could possibly have some pre-existing. So I went and I met with the builder's rep out there for another couple. And I was like, hey, just an FYI, can you show me your inventory? She shows me their price at 1.2 million for a floor plan that 3 years ago was marked at $360,000. Okay. 1.2 million today. Like, talk about appreciation, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, knowing that, and I collected all of these timeline type of price increases, and I've been
Mhm.
showing it to these guys, like, okay, you got priced out by this much at this community that you said you loved. Why are they not biting the damn bullet? They're like, oh, no, we promise we're going to be one of those people that close with you. That's for sure. But I'm like, are you kidding me? I think I'll just die waiting for them. But they're such a sweet family. I would totally like pass them off, but they're such a sweet family and they really do love me and want to include me in everything. But I don't know. I'm just
Who's the
maybe
one
I'm not
that,
understanding them.
who's the one, usually there's one person that's halting it, who, or is it both, or is there?
I think it's both of them. I think it's both. It's just the
Alright.
couple overall. I don't get it. They see the appreciation. They say at first they were very concerned about what the market was doing, and then I made a point that this geographical location is not going to be impacted by the national trends. And I showed them the data, I showed them everything. And then I realized they changed their narrative. So then when we started meeting with builders, they already knew the narrative. Like, hey, we understand that, hey, the country's economy may be a shit show at this point, but we are not subject to that in this area. So they understand that. They see the data and I could see their mindset is shifting, but not shifting enough for them to actually take action. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm just
Can
Okay.
you like start off by saying, you know what, you guys obviously have some great taste. And as seen by 4 years ago, what it started at what is today, take that and put it in today's market and know that in another 4 years, you may be sitting pretty again
yep.
if you
I know.
invest now.
Yeah, we've done that. When, out of curiosity, when
Mhm.
logic doesn't work, what
Mhm.
is it? When it's not logic, what is it? What's underneath the logic?
Emotion? I don't know.
Emotion, exactly. It's emotion. So there's something going on down in the root that hasn't been addressed or they can't get walked through, haven't been walked through
Oh.
yet. But you gotta, in my experience, the most important thing at the very, very, very first meeting is doing that deep dive and really spending that time into the reason why they want to do it. And when you
Mhm.
dig and you dig and you dig and you dig and you hit their pay dirt, then you'll know, and that's going to be what you're going to use to be able to pull them through this thing. So I used to do appointments. I'm very much a like one and done, move. And then I realized that I was losing them on the back end. And I also had someone, a very wise person, I don't even know who it was, but whoever it was, they were flipping up amazing. Tell me it's not because I'm not doing my job up front. And when I realized that, I had to stop what I was doing. And that first appointment that I spent with buyers or sellers, sometimes not the very first one, because sometimes I met buyers at a house, they didn't know who they were, and I met them at a house, and then, but the next appointment before we moved any further was usually around 2 hours long, hour and a half to 2 hours. It was long, and it was long, not because of any other reason, except for me digging until I hit pay dirt. And I know pay dirt because it feels like a gut punch. When I hit that gut punch, then I know. we're there. And if there's no gut punch, I'm not there. I'm just not
Yeah.
there. So I think it's an emotion way down deep that I don't think you've tapped into yet with what theirs is.
Mhm. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, maybe it's I haven't taken a deep dive in, probably.
Have you asked them, complimented them on the neighborhoods, that they're very nice neighborhoods, and that 4 years ago when you started this, it would have fell in your price range? What neighborhoods, but it doesn't anymore. What neighborhoods are you interested in now within that price range?
Yeah, for sure. And we've actually gone to see a couple of these neighborhoods. We have taken tours. I've spent an enormous amount of time with them. I have to say, I've had clients that I've closed like 4 or 5 transactions with, and the whole time, the accumulation of the 4 to 5 did not take nearly as much as that one time with these guys. Um, so it's extremely draining. I really like them as people, very sweet. That's the only reason I want to continue working with them, but at the same time, my God, I don't know. It's not like they're dead air. Um, hours that get passed with them, like we're talking the entire time, and every single time, Gina, I'm trying to dig deep, maybe not in the right way. I don't know, but yeah, it's an interesting one that I would like to find out. I mean, when you ask them straight up, what is the holdup that you currently have? I think they're just, to be honest, my deeper analysis of it, I think they're not ready for change, period. I think they're afraid. I don't know why.
They
But
both high S's.
I would say so. I would
Solid,
say
stable,
so.
responsible, reliable, secure, dependable, salt of the
I
earth.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
They're hard
definitely
to
think
move.
so. Yeah.
They're hard. They have to trust, and they move really, really, really slow. So who else in their life do they super much depend upon to help them make decisions? Not just you, but whoever that person is, get them to invite that person the next time you go looking at something. And then because that person will help push them over the edge.
Probably their daughter. She does come all the time though. I do believe she's autistic though, so I'm not sure if they'll give her opinions a little bit more weight.
Right.
But yeah.
Maybe it's somebody else too, but I would point blank out. Who else is in your life that you really, really, really trust that helps you through when you guys have hard decisions? I would love to meet that person. Let's bring them with.
Okay. I have not done that I can tell you.
Yeah, well, give it high S's are the hardest for me also, and would be for you, Bree. Anybody that's a really high D, they're the opposite of us on every level. And the problem, the issue, the situation, the conundrum, however you want to put it, I hate using the word problem, is that they believe that the environment is a really friendly place and they cannot change it. Unlike a D, that the environment is not that friendly and we can conquer and change it. So we're all about change and, kill, devour, pillage, plunder and all that. And an S is like, why? It's fine. So yeah, so that's what you're up against. You have to get another person that they trust involved. This is the only trick I've ever found that's ever worked for me. Another person that they trust involved along with them, because that person will go, hello. And then you're kind of doing that 2 or 3 where they're like, oh, I should do this. And then they will. And then there's a lot of time convincing them that this step that you're doing is going to be even better than where you are. I know yours is good, and this one's going to be even better. And I've never been able to unlock it personally. I just really struggle with that personality type. So,
yeah, same here. Same here. I just feel like pulling hair.
Yes, keep us posted, because now I'm on it's like Craig's people at his couple that are going through divorce. I'm like, ooh, it's like a saga now. What's our next step? So definitely keep us posted. Okay.
Okay, I forgot what my question was. Do you remember?
Oh, good Lord, Kay. What was your good news? Because it led from your good news.
Well, my good news is that, the people that aren't moving until February, do I do comps now and get an estimate, or do I wait closer to?
So what's your when you guys run across this, what do you guys do? So I know what I do, but I want to hear from you all. Crickets, come on.
Wait, give me the scenario again, Kate. You rep the sellers and you're asking them for estimates, or?
No. I have a mother and a daughter client, and they're going to consolidate households. And we already signed a contract for a new build in Callison Ranch, and I'm their realtor for that. So I got that done. I don't know when to put that into SkySlope. That's one question. And then, and I guess because you only put it in as a transaction. And then I have a condo and their house, which I've already looked at and done preliminary comps on the daughter's house, which is like 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, 2-story, but the mother's condo. And so, I know what they need to get into the new house, and I don't know whether to do comps now or wait closer when we're going to list it, for them to move.
I would actually do both. I've worked with clients like that a couple of times where the timeline is far out. I would give them the preface of, hey, the comps are actually based off of the current timeline and are subject to change. But at this very point, if you were to do, XYZ, these would be the numbers that you'd be looking at. And then when you get closer, you refresh that comp. One, I think they'll end up seeing that the numbers are a little bit more favorable. They'll get happy. And two, you're actually preparing them, giving them some kind of indication as to where they'll be, because you'll take away that level of uncertainty, especially if they have zero idea what they should be expecting down the road. So
Yeah,
I would
say the
go-
same. Oh, sorry, Anne, I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's okay, honey, no problem. I was done.
I would say do the same. Give him a picture of what it looks like now, because it'll help them make maybe some decisions as they're moving closer to the sale. If they've got any to make, they'll at least know what it is now, and then, let them know it'll, could change obviously as they get closer to the sale. But if it were me, I'd want to know what it looks like now, so that if I had any decisions to make between now and my selling point, if they've got two places, maybe they'd consider selling one now, and then, I don't know. I'm just making
Yeah,
things up.
that's what I've been thinking, is maybe she needs to go ahead and sell her condo now while the market's really hot. Because
Exactly.
when they want to move, it's going to be like close to the holidays between Thanksgiving. When I'd list it, would be probably in the fall, and they don't want to move till like January, February, depending on when the new house is going to build. And I've just never done one this far out.
If it were me in that situation and I had two that I was, potentially looking to sell, and I could sell one in a hard market and put that money someplace to kind of maybe grow and
Yeah.
invest somewhere until the next sale, or, just have it and hold it. I'd want to know what highest and best I could get for either of them now, and then just to be able to make decisions on whatever scenario might pop up. So that's what I would
Okay.
recommend, is just do
Well, I
both.
did it on the first one when I went and, was kind of doing my listing appointment, and I've still got to get my listing agreement signed by both of them. So maybe that's my good excuse to go get my listing agreement signed.
There you go. I love that. I
Good
also like
excuse as
the-
any.
I also like the both now and later, because of this. If everything's working in the same general area, even if your comp goes up a little bit, great, that's great news, in January. But even if it goes down, usually in the same area, everything's kind of doing this. You know what I mean? So even if it goes down a little bit, yes, you're not where you were in, August, but nobody else is either. So
Yeah.
it's all relative. So it has very little downside risk and a ton of upside potential. That's why I
Okay.
like
Exactly. And number one thing, you put the onus on them, because you give them the information now. If you decide to do it now, this is what it is. If you decide to do it later, I'll let you know.
It'll actually alleviate the situation that Anna had with her two clients, whereby if they bought 4 years ago, they would have been in their price range, no problem, as opposed to looking now and, $1.5 million, and they're not in the space. So it would, I guess on another level, it might eliminate any sort of seller remorse if they, didn't have the information to make the decision on whether or not to sell one now or later, and then get to the early part of next year and being like, oh, if we had known, we might have done something differently.
Exactly. That's correct.
Yeah, I think they're pretty committed, and since they've already signed the contract and put significant money down on the new build, I'm pretty sure they're going to do that.
motivation.
But yeah, they're very motivated. So, okay, that tells me what I do. And then the other question I have is, anybody ever done a double close where the money comes from the last sale to pay for the first sale, working with a wholesaler on assignment?
Ooh, Gary.
So
Yes.
Okay,
Oh.
can you walk me through how that works?
Need to have a good title company that knows what
I
they're
got a
doing.
great title company.
Well, you need to explain it to them ahead of time. You're going to do a simultaneous close. Is it
I did,
illegal?
and they
And-
said they could do it. I just want to
And if
know
it
how it works.
And if it doesn't, then you get a bridge loan or a what's it called? It's a loan for 2 days or 3 days, which lends you the money, puts the money, or lends the other person the money. It goes into the escrow account. It's used to close the loan, and then it comes right back out. And there's a fee for it. So there's a mechanism for it in case the regulations, the biggest thing is the title company doesn't want to get caught closing a loan with other people's money that don't have it. The
Okay,
first deal I
that's me.
did as an entrepreneur was exactly that. And it was a wet close back in Virginia in 1999. And I had people show up with $70,000. The money was wired in to close in the morning or the day before. And the people that were selling the house showed up. So they signed it over in the morning. The afternoon, the people buying the house showed up and the money was already there in their checking account, basically by checks, balances to close it. And they cut me a check for $23,000 on a $70,000 house. That's better than a commission.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
But they eliminated wet closings. So you have to wait for everything to get recorded. Now they're all dry closings and you don't have to be there at the same time. You can show up. This is in Virginia. Each state,
Okay.
each title company can do it the same way. But there are plenty of people out there, not plenty, but there are people out there that will lend you the amount it's needed to close and they'll put it into your escrow account. You have to pay them something. And you're not borrowing the money for very long, but it's exactly
About how
for that.
expensive is it?
Huh?
How expensive is it?
For getting the deal done, it's not that
No,
big a deal.
the bridge, what should I expect is a reasonable
Yeah.
bridge?
Maybe 0.5%, maybe 1%.
Okay,
Okay,
that's not bad.
It's not like,
Yeah,
hey, we're taking half the proceeds or something like that.
there's a cost to doing business.
It's a cost of doing business. And since their money is only out a few days or a week, in case a closing gets delayed, they're
Yeah.
very comfortable with it because they see all the contracts. You give
Yeah.
them both contracts. They know it's going to go to close sometime.
Right.
The money's not expended until you buy the house. Till whoever is buying the house puts the money down and the money goes into the account. And so the auditors can't fuss about it.
Right. Yeah, the people who have check boxes. Hey, Dutch, what part of VA are you in?
I'm in Central Eastern. I can walk to the Rappahannock River in about 3 minutes. I see it as soon as I come out. The bridge is on the Rappahannock River. I can be at the Chesapeake Bay in 6 or 7 minutes. So I'm real close to the Chesapeake Bay in the mid area.
Okay.
I'm in the Middle Peninsula.
All right, Liz is up in the greater DC area and Kathy's up in the northwestern section. Or Kathy, north middle, where are you? You're quiet right now. You're in mute land.
She wants you to
You're
bathroom.
Charlottesville.
Charlottesville, okay.
Oh, Charlottesville. Okay, I know where all of those places are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I was in Newport News for a couple of years.
Yeah. Newport News is down where I go to Olive Garden. If I want to go to a franchise restaurant, I have to go down to Newport News. Or Williamsburg. Williamsburg's an hour away, going down through Gloucester and Yorktown, going over to Colonial Parkway, or either going up to Saluda, West Point, and going down. It's 45 minutes
Right.
to Williamsburg for some of my favorite shopping places. And Richmond is an hour away. And
Yeah.
DC is 2 hours away, 2.5.
You really are central out there on that east side. Very
are
cool.
you close to La Havre, Havre, La Havre?
Say that again.
There's a little town called Le Havre. It's a French town on the bay. I just wonder, are you that far south or are you further north?
I don't recognize the town.
Okay.
You can look at
Follow.
you can look at Deltaville
Delta,
which is
okay.
right
Oh, I
on the
know where
bay.
that is. Delta,
Deltaville's a big boat building place.
I know where that is.
Okay,
So my when I do 25 miles out, when I do my searches, I go up to as far as Colonial Beach, which is on the Potomac, where the Potomac goes across the eastern part of Virginia, and then it makes a sharp turn and goes up to DC. Colonial Beach is right there. And so from Colonial Beach down to Virginia Beach, I cover them on my EXP thing. It says east of I-95. So I'll do business east of I-95. I-95 runs from DC through Richmond and
Mhm.
down out the bottom of the state. So I'll do business in all of that area.
okay,
close.
yeah, I'm confusing Maryland with Virginia, that's my problem. You're in
Okay, 'cause
Virginia,
I
not
was
Maryland.
looking and I'm like, I am not seeing your place on any.
It's in Maryland, it's in Maryland on the Chesapeake Bay, not Virginia.
Right.
That's what threw
All
me.
right, got it,
Dave?
got it. Okay, well, welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
Good conversation today. Love it. Craig, are you still there? I know you're in the dark, but are you there?
Yes.
I have just a little bit, you made me think of something because you said your KV core was really hard right now. And then Anna said, I promise you it's worth it. And then Anna said something else about clients being easy or hard. I was kind of, when I was taking my shower this morning, I was thinking about the fact that I think I've been longer married to this husband, the fabulous husband, than the other husband, the bad husband. Which I wanted to hit that landmark because it should be 18 and a half years. So I think I'm close. Anyway. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm close. Anyway, and then because I want the good to outweigh the bad, but then as I thought about it, I'm like the good outweighed the bad the first day, because that's what good does. It outweighs the bad.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it doesn't take the same amount of time or anything like that before it really quickly wipes out the bad. So I highly encourage you to slog through what you're doing, or have the other person slog through it if you think that's a better deal. And I support you 10,000%, but to get through it, because the good is going to massively outweigh the bad. It really is, I promise you.
Yep, I agree. I know it is.
Yep.
Just got to do it.
And
Like Nike.
I hate to tell you this, but I've had to clean mine up 3 times.
Oh my goodness. All right. I gotta jump. I got a 15-minute break before I gotta do my coaching call, and I got a couple of things I gotta cover in between there. But y'all have a fabulous week. I'm super looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. And the good outweighs the bad. So go do more good, because you're gonna outweigh the bad that's going on in other people's lives too. So
Yeah.
all right.
Gap financing. Somebody put it up there. Catherine put it up there. It's called gap financing.
Yep, that's what it
Okay.
is. All right.
Gap
Okay.
financing.
Have a
Good. All right.
day,
It
Manana.
works.
Thanks,
Have a
everyone.
good
Have a
one.
good day.
Bye.
Set it
Okay,
up. It
bye.
works. Have a good one.